Alright, today we are working on the stove. I moved this out here a little while back, you might recall. And I need to finish connecting up the chimney on it. Get it kind of functional again. I found that sections were pretty rusted out just because of the way that it was set up. And I was planning to do double wall up through, but I was having a hard time finding double or triple wall at an affordable price and 8-inch. So I think I'm going to stick with it single wall for now. It's been fine for years, and I'm going to just kind of watch the temperature of that pipe, see if I need to set up some sort of a heat shroud or something like that. Like I said, this stove, the other one that was in here, had been functioning for, well, since this place was built, so probably close to 40 years or so, just fine. Without any issues, and I was just going to do that as a safety precaution. I don't think it's necessary, but we're going to take a look and see what needs to happen. So anyways, I've got some sections here. Picked these up the other day when I took my truck into the big city to get those recalls handled on it. And so basically I just need to piece this together and get it put back up and start a fire and see how we go. Yes, I'm eating a raw Pop-Tart. I needed a snack when I got home from work before dinner time. I should have mentioned that the noise in the background is I've got my train running with the generator. Just trying to do a real world scenario test and just let it run for about an hour with kind of everything going on it. The remote for the fog machine quit working, so that's a bit of a problem. I'm honestly not sure. Sorry, get you plugged back in here, that battery's gonna die. I'm honestly not sure what happened there, but I need the remote so that I can ride and remotely operate the fog machine, and it's just not working anymore, which is... Fog machine's still working, but I can't control it from the driver's seat of the train, so I'm gonna have to figure that out, but what can you do? Okay, I need to get up, retie this, get the rusty piece off, get a fresh piece on, and then see where we're at. Barely got the fire going. Kind of checked everything out. It was looking good. Temperatures on the stovepipe were looking good. I just had a small fire going just kind of as a test, but I just got called for dinner, so I'm gonna head in and call it a night. Basically, I've got the train in, and then all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5? I thought there was more than 5. Anyways, all 5 cars in. The reason why I've tried to cram them all in here is because I'm going to put more lights on. So on the cars, I'm going to put some more of those rock lights that provide that cool underglow, like I did on the train. And then I've also got some light up antennas to go on the train, which I think are going to look really cool. And then finally, I had issue with this fog machine. The controller's not working on it anymore, so I actually bought a DMX controller that I'm hoping will allow me to have better control over that, because I can't, once it's in the front of the train, I can't reach under and push buttons and stuff like that. So all of that is what I'm going to try and attempt tonight. I think that's it. I need to make this cram because this light parade is next weekend. Yeah, it's here. That's why I started so early, is because I knew I'd get down to the wire and run out of time. So I'm hoping I can get all that put on pretty quickly, and get this sucker fired up and be ready for the light show next weekend. So wish me luck. All right, step number one is I'm going to get the power supply tied in. And what I need to find out, you can see this has two lines that come out, and it's meant to kind of make two loops, the one that would go on one side of your vehicle, one that would go on the other side of the vehicle. But I'm just going straight back. So my first question is, can I just use one line and get the same result and just do one line straight back? But before I can figure that out, I need to get this tied into power. I'm not going to tie into my main power switch up front, because this has its own independent switch back here that I can turn it on and on with. So I'm just going to tie directly into the battery with it, and that way I'm closer to the back and I don't have to worry about running all the lines up to the front and figuring that out. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, get this tied in, and then I'm going to start testing the lights back and see. I've got a couple of questions on that, so I'm going to try and figure that out, and then what I'll do is probably start working my way back from the first car back to the end car, installing the lights. Okay, so it looks like I've got power, and it looks like I can just run a single line back, so I think that's going to work out good. So now I'm going to try and figure out the configuration on the bottom of these cars. I'm going to be using these clips, and then this kit came with some extensions, so that hopefully I can just separate these lines when I separate the carts, and then when I put the carts together, plug them back together and have lights. So I'm going to start working on that. Okay, so I've got the trailer lights hooked on, and they're all hooked up and working. Yes. So I'll tidy up that wiring, and then these should also be on. But would you look at that? Pretty cool. I need to figure out, these aren't really secure in here. I need to figure out how to kind of tighten that down. I might just wrap it with some tape so it kind of wedges it in there a little bit more. but it's looking good. So the final thing I need to do is figure out how to run the fog machine with this board here. So I'm going to take a minute, see if I can figure that out real quick, and then it might be dark and it might be time to go for a test drive with all this stuff. Well, you have to forgive how foggy it is in here. I was testing out the fog machine. I think I've got that figured out. So now we're going to get all hooked up and see if we can't take this for a test ride. There it is, pretty cool. I'm excited. I can't remote control the fog machine, so I'm sure you'll see that coming up, but all the pieces come together. Well, today's a big day. I'm just putting the final touches on this train because the light parade is tonight. So I think I'm really well prepared and set for everything to go great, but there's always fine-tuning that needs to happen. So I need to strap down the fog machine a little bit better. Sorry, I was just running testing things out. But I'm gonna pull this out and see if I can figure out how to strap down the fog machine a little bit better. What I'm noticing is I've got the light, the LEDs and the spout, guess we'll call it a spout, for the fog centered right underneath this hole here. But as I drive, it wants to kind of rattle and move and shift just a little bit. So I'm going to see if there's a way that I can kind of strap it down a little bit more solid so that hopefully it doesn't move and stays centered right underneath that. While I've got the fog machine out, I'm going to go ahead and top it off with the fog juice as well. Just so that everything's topped off, full up, and ready to go. Okay, I think I've got that figured. So the next step is to get it loaded on the trailer, and I'll probably run it around here for just a minute, make sure everything's working like it should, get it loaded on the trailer, and then we're going to head into town and start putting the train together with all its cars. Then it'll be time for a lineup where we'll get lined up in the position that we're going to run the parade. And then finally it'll be time to run the parade. Wish me luck. I hope everything works the way that I planned it to.